WIX 101 is a series of 6 face-to-face tutoring sessions wherein which learners are familiarized with the common features of the WIX website building platform. The gem of this learning plan is that learners are actually recreating elements that they admire. In this case specifically, the goal of the learner was to create an effective e-portfolio. Therefore, the first assignment was to find elements of portfolios that they admired. From there, the first activity was then developed to walk them step by step into recreating the pages that they admired from the e-portfolio. This goes on for 4 sessions. The final 2 sessions is then synthesis of that information. The learner takes what they have recreated and the elements that they like and put them together to create their own e-portfolio in this case, or maybe a website, or maybe it's just a landing page, or maybe it's a personal portfolio. Either way, the idea is to take the activities, the skills that they learned in the previous activities, and then use them in their design knowledge to recreate a product that they're happy with. WIX 101 is polyphonic. Both the instructor and the learner are completing the same assignment and reporting their results. In this way, the experience is also self-directed, giving the learner a sense of ownership and accomplishment. The customization of each learning experience is an exemplification of my ability to recommend appropriate design solutions. WIX 101 is adjusted depending on the learner's progress, not just static. Lastly, the learner's knowledge and skills pertaining to the ID process are updated. This is another competency. And though the competency could apply to the macro scale, it also applies to the micro scale in that beforehand, the WIX 101 learners were only vaguely familiar with not just the logistics, the clicking and dragging of the elements in the WIX, but they were also vaguely familiar with the design process within itself. By the end of this tutoring sessions, by the end of WIX 101, the learners were able to synthesize the information that they learned to create effective e-portfolios. And in that way is updating the instructional design knowledge of the learners in hopes to be able to then give them the skills and confidence to update the knowledge and skills of the field of instructional design. Hi, I learned how to adjust my learning plan, not just to the needs identified at the beginning, but to the ever-evolving needs of the learner as they take in and practice these skills. The great thing about working one-on-one is that the needs are easily identified because as a one-on-one mentor, you're able to see up close and personal what the student's thinking process and process of rationale and learning is. And in this way, you're able to then better identify the needs as opposed to in group work. This is a great tool to have for an instructional designer because it is identifying and addressing the underlying needs of the client, whether it is one-on-one or a company, is key to building learners and creating successful learning experiences. In conclusion, because WIX 101 is customized not just to the specific goals and needs in the beginning of the project for the learner, but because it's customizable, easily customizable throughout the course of the learning, WIX demonstrates a wide range of competencies. And I learned how important adjusting the needs are across the learning experience, as well as how to do so effectively. But most importantly, I grew as a designer because I was able to take the learners in the WIX 101 from just having superficial knowledge of how to build a website to being able to understand the design process and the changes that might be necessary in their building of learners. And that's the key to pay it forward.